before we get too far into it, I want to give the people here a lay of the land in your perspective of what's happening in the marketplace right now. You know, like, who are the leaders, who's hot, who's trending upwards, who's petering out, who's trending downwards. You know, like, what are you feeling right now in the marketplace overall? As you know, we're at an industry trade show. Everybody here, as you can see from the kicks on the feet, that they already know the importance of sneaker culture. I don't think we have to emphasize that. But I want, from your expert opinion, who do you think is on the rise, and who do you think needs to, like, watch themselves?
I'll probably start with the bigger brands like Nike and Adidas. Obviously, Adidas, to me, is killing it because of the farm and stuff like that. They're bringing in creators that are not necessarily celebrities, but of the arts, and letting them get their hands on shoes. I really like the direction that Jordan brands, I mean, Nigel Sylvester just posted his Jordan 1s. I mean, that's huge. That was big for me, so I was like, that's pretty dope. I like the bigger brands are reaching out to, like, people like Nigel Sylvester, that BMX is not a typical collaborator. But I like that realm of finding creators that are not necessarily athletes or musicians and collaborating with those. I like the rise of that. The downfall, I crossed over from customizing in that area to designing my own footwear. I feel like that's going to fade out pretty soon. It's kind of oversaturated. And I feel like,
you think customizing is going to fade out soon?
I wouldn't say that it would fade out. I would say that it would fade out in the... I don't think ever customized is ever going to fade out. I think it's a fad right now that everybody's doing the same exact shoes. If you can get your hands on something else and create something completely different from everybody, that's one thing. But, you know, just putting some stuff on some Jordans, I think that's going to fade out.
Okay. Clark, sir?
I agree.
No, you got to speak up.
I will agree. Adidas is being smart because they're not just looking at the super famous guy or the so-called influencer. I think what people are doing is realizing that who they deem influencers aren't actually influencing anything. So maybe they're looking for a guy who walks in off the street and is smart enough to say, I think if we did this, or I think if we did that, and giving them a shot to actually make it, and then deciding whether the masses should get it is probably smarter than anything that anybody else is doing right now. And I think the big brands are actually trying to catch up to what the kids were actually doing anyway. So when you got kids who are customizing shoes, big brands are going, okay, well, what do we do? Okay, well, we're going to do customizing labs all over the place every time a shoe drops, so the kids can customize close to us. We can see what they're doing. We can deem what's important, and maybe one day just snatch them and say, hey, what we thought was dope what you did, so how can we get with you?
Yeah, right.
So the downfall is resellers.
Word?
Yeah, that's the downfall.
Expound on that, please. Why are resellers the downfall?
The reason why resellers are downfall is because, before I say that, I want to say I don't knock resellers. It's just like selling drugs. If you got something that people want and you could sell it for more than it costs, I hear you. My thing is, why don't you let the kid who actually wants to buy it get it first and then buy whatever's left? If there was a way to regulate it so that the kids who really wanted to wear the shoes got the shoes, and then whatever was left, you let a reseller buy, then that's cool. Because then that reseller has to deal with whether it really is a markup for the shoe or not. Because all the kids already got it. Now, who are you going to sell it to?
Right.
We're going to see if that really is the deal or not. Because all they're really doing is preying on kids who can't get on that line, or who can't get past, who doesn't have the connect. They're preying on those kids by buying all the shoes before everybody gets it and then selling it to them for 4 times what it costs.
Right. How do you feel about, because like, we know people that work at footwear brands, right? And this is a relatively new phenomenon that I've noticed, is that people who design and make shoes now at the brands, when they release a shoe, they themselves check the StockX resale price of their own creations. So they're kind of using resellers as like a barometer for how successful and how good they are at their job.
I think they just want to pat themselves on the back. Because if you think about it, the people who are actually making the shoes, who are actually sitting behind those computers and drawing, coming up with colorways and all of that, they're designing a year and a half to 2 years out. So you're waiting 2 years to check and see if people like what you're doing when you're working on 2 years later anyway. So if they're doing that, then they just need a pat on the back. And if they are doing that for real, somebody in the brand needs to check them and probably fire them.
Wow, okay. Okay, good.
It's just my thoughts. Sorry.
I had this conversation.
John, how do you feel about that?
That's my first time hearing about that one, so I'll agree with you on that one.
I will say, I've never heard of that, but if that's
really?
what's happening,
that's what's happening.
Then that's pretty sad.
It's happening. It's rampant. It's 99% happening.
I would probably say that's because of social media. Meaning because if you design an Air Max or something and I take it and I customize it and people like the customized one better, you're looking at like, I went to design school, I work for Nike, and this person, Joe Schmo, just put some checks on it and they like it better than at checking like your ego. Maybe that's the case. I'm not real sure.
Right.
So it's my first time hearing it, but it's a little weird.
No, they know it to the dollar. They're like, yo, my shit's $273 on StockX. Like, okay. Yeah, it's crazy. I wanna ask you about this because I had this conversation last night at dinner where like, you both mentioned Adidas and what they were doing. And it wasn't too long ago where like Adidas wasn't even really like in the picture. Like they were so distant, far away. And now they're really making moves. And I'm not even talking like brand equity, which is an immeasurable thing. It's like a personal opinion thing. But like in terms of market share, Adidas is really coming up on Nike, right? But of course, Nike is still a massive giant. Do you guys, in your opinion, ever see a day, do you think there's a possibility where Nike's not number one?
No.
I agree, no.
No? So no matter how well Adi does, Nike will always be number one?
Pretty much. I mean...
Why? Because there was a time where Reebok was number one.
Yeah, it was.
Was. Come on, man. You know the secrets.
Putting them on the spot right now.
I always tell the truth. Here's what happened. People deemed rappers, singers, and all of those people more important than athletes.
Yes.
The funny part is all the shoes that they're buying are for athletes. So if you deem somebody like that more important than an athlete, then the athlete starts to mean nothing to the shoe that they're selling. So for a little while, we're gonna keep seeing it until somebody really goes, you're selling basketball shoes, right? This guy doesn't play basketball.
Right.
You're selling a running shoe. This guy doesn't run. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna realize it, and then something's gonna click and go, I don't really want to dress like that guy.
Right, right.
I really want to be myself. Right now, we are in a time where everybody is clout chasing, and they want to be like somebody else. Instead of just saying, I want to be me.
Yeah.
If you want to be yourself, then you'll really start liking the shoes instead of liking the person whose shoes you're buying. Because if you think about half of this stuff that hits the wall that has a rapper name to it or a singer's name to it or whomever, their name to it. If you take their name off of it, are they buying it?
No.
What is DJ Clark's favorite sneaker?
In a little bit,
we're going to do
questions.
audience Q&A in a little bit.
We're going to do a Q&A in a little bit, and I'm going to answer your question.
My man had one too many tequilas.
Security, no more drinks over here.
They're giving out free champagne, though. All right, what do you feel? Do you agree? I think you said yes, Nike will never be dethroned.
Like I was saying about the creative process of the classes they have and the labs they have, the thing that Adidas has over top of Nike is, and you know this firsthand, I actually make footwear, so I know the process of it. Adidas is letting people create a shoe from scratch and last it and put it on a sole, and those people get to leave that 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 farm or that class with a shoe.
Yeah.
Nike's just letting you choose an Air Force One and add some stuff to it, dye it, whatever. I feel like they're a little bit ahead of that part, but as far as an overall brand, I don't think we'll ever pass up Nike. Adidas.
Okay. I can't agree. I mean, I get you. Like, Nike is a systematic, like, engine that is very difficult to stop. But like GM, like Pepsi, like Reebok, like there's institutions that like years ago you would be like, there's no way these are going down. Like Goldman Sachs, like there's no way they're going down. And like I just feel like you can't ever say never. It'll never go down.
Well, the reason why I believe they're never going to lose their spot is because these other brands are really basing their stuff off of their stuff being able to work.
Yeah.
Nike's basing their stuff off of marketing.
Yes.
They're an extremely good marketing company.
Yeah.
They're like 10 times better than every other marketing company.
Yep.
If you can't market like them, you're not going to sell like them. And you should be comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? You should be comfortable with that, and that should be okay. Get the market share you're going to get. Keep trying to rise.
Yeah.
But understand me, if you're not going to spend the marketing dollars that a brand like that is going to spend, think about it. We buy an iPhone every time the new one comes out. You know what that is? Marketing. It's the same iPhone. It might have, there's no button on this one. It was still a button. You just touch screen it. It's still a button. You know what I'm saying? You buy the same iPod all the time.
Right. We're buying the stories.
Right. You're buying stories. And guess who tells the best stories?
Nike,
That big marketing company.
Right.
So until the other brands start to tell the stories properly, you're not going to care the way you care about a Jordan 3 Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to care. Right. And until you start to care about something else or somebody else's company that way, then you're not going to move them out of their spot because they're not going to stop being a marketing company at all.
Right. All right. We mentioned collabs a little bit, the art of collaboration. I feel like when you look at like a hype beast or a high snob, I think every post has like an X in it now, like where there's a collaboration every time. Is there a saturation point to this, like where it's just going to be over, or do you see it just riding off into infinity, like we're just going to see more collabs?
I'm not against collabing. I mean, I think a real collab is bringing two brands that can't do what either one can do. As far as like footwear, I think Nike and Adidas are both doing very good collaborations. Again, not shooting for like the higher tier athlete or celebrity and doing something with, an Instagram influencer or a young designer or something like that. So I like where they're going with that.
Okay.
Collaboration.
Yeah. Too much, too little? Just right?
I don't know if it's too much, too little. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's too much. I don't know if it's too little. I just know that it's not going to go away until you, the consumer, starts to actually look and see if you actually like something for what it is or for the person whose name is attached to it. Unfortunately, social currency is way too important to the actual consumer instead of, I just like the shoe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So you just can't go in, look at it on the wall and be like, I like it and buy it unless you say, oh, that's the John Geiger collab. You take John Geiger's name off of it, you don't like the shoe anymore? I go back to that.
Yeah,
it's dumb. So the funny part is most collaborations, you know this is true. I'm sure you know it's true. I know it's true. Most, and I'm going to go so far as to say 85% of the collaborative efforts that you see are done by the employees that work at the brand, and the guys get their name attached to it. They don't do it. So you are buying into something that's false. Until you start to think about that, collaborations are going to keep going on, and you're going to keep being baffled.
Yeah. Like
these brands have real designers who really make shoes, and they really make dope shoes. Mm-hmm. And you won't buy it unless they put somebody's name attached to it. That's just called marketing, and you're being baffled by marketing.
You're buying a signature versus...
You're buying a signature.
Yeah.
You're not buying that guy's work.
Right.
You could tell when somebody actually puts the work in on a shoe.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yep, you can tell. Are we ever getting back to that? Are we ever going back to that era where like people just go and shop for shoes based on the essence of the design itself?
I believe there's a way to. I don't know if these brands are gonna do it. So I'm probably gonna have to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially considering social currency means so much to the consumer instead of whether they just like it or not.
Yeah.
You have to understand, like somebody buys a shoe, let's say they do like it, and then they see it go up on StockX, they might not ever wear it thinking, hey, I'm gonna cash in on that shoe when you really bought it to wear it.
Yeah.
I got so many looks because I put these on today and I'm just like, they're sneakers. Somebody's going, yo, you can get $3,000 for those. I hear you. I like them. I think they fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There was a time where, and like, people who are maybe born after 1985 or 1990 don't realize this, but there was a time where you would walk into a shoe store and not know what was going to be on the wall.
The best of times.
The best of times, where there was no release date. You didn't know that in 4 weeks, Cause was going to do a Jordan. You'd walk into a Models or a VIM or a Foot Locker, and you'd look at the whole wall, and you'd be like, let me get that one in the bottom corner in a size 9.5, a 10, and a 10.5, and I'm going to try all three on. I'm going to walk around the store. I'm going to see which one is the most comfortable because I'm going to wear these, and I'm going to buy them. Now, people walk in, they go to the sales clerk, do you have this? No, and then they walk out. They don't even look at the entire wall, you know?
I mean, kids are buying shoes that don't fit.
I know.
They buy shoes that don't fit. It's the stupidest shit ever. Excuse my language. It's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
You walk in a store. Do you have a size 9? No. All right, I'll take the 12. What?
Yo, you remember that? You remember that metal instrument that you'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, and then they do that thing?
This
When
is
the
how
last time you've
this is
seen
how you
that?
stop resellers. This is how you stop resellers.
Okay, how do you stop resale?
Every single so-called hype release has to be worn out the store.
So Soulbox just did that.
Soulbox should continue. I did it when I let the 112s go.
Yeah.
My first collab, I was like, oh, you want them? You got to walk out with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got to see the inside of your shoe, make sure it's your size, and then you can have it. But the reason why is because I think reselling is for shit.
Right. Do you agree? You heard about what Soulbox did? Okay, so Soulbox recently did a release, and they made kids wear the shoe out of the store. If you didn't want to wear it out of the store.
What shoe was it?
The 4D, right? Adidas 4D. Was it these? Oh, it's these.
Those.
Yeah.
Let them wear them out the damn store.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? That like if you didn't wear it out the store, you couldn't buy them.
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right, I don't agree.
Was it? I could be totally wrong, but back in the day, was it skate shops made? If you skated and you came and got a shoe, you have to like wear them out of the store, right?
For SBs and stuff.
SBs,
A couple
yes.
of accounts did that, I think. Yeah.
Did you ever do it?
I never did it.
Never did it.
But I'm not really for that concept, to be honest.
I was just giving you a way to slow down the resellers. That's all.
I know. My thing is.
And now all resellers will sell used sneakers.
Yeah.
Now, how special do you feel now if your shoe had to be walked out? I know there's a big there's a big used shoe market, but cool. The kid walks out in a shoe that fits him, and then he could do whatever with it. You don't walk out with a size 13 if you're a 7. You work out with a size 7.
I say I did actually see it because I seen kids outside the store wiping the bottom off and putting them back in the box, right?
Wiping it off.
They were
Yeah.
wiping
Do
it
what
off.
you're gonna do when you get out. But when you walk out the store in the shoe, you have something that at least can slow it down. Or I'm not letting you buy the shoe if you can't fit it.
Right.
But that's why I don't own a sneaker store. They'd probably hate me.
All right, I want to change the subject a little bit because what we're seeing right now is, I'm sure you're observing this too, there's like a huge resurgence in like 90s lifestyle brands, right? Like Fila is coming back strong, Champion is really back strong, right? Like CK. Do you think this is just like a natural cycle of things that happen that like we go in retro to like the brands from the 90s? And if so, do you see it ending soon?
Fresh is fresh. It's always gonna be fresh. So if it was fresh then, it could be fresh now. Hot cools off. Fresh is always gonna be fresh.
Word.
So when they decide to bring it back, if it's that shit, you gonna buy that shit.
Yeah.
For myself, my other brand, Die Starts Monday, we have a collab with DC Shoes, and we have Rider Sandals. And those are two that I remember being as a kid. Those are two things that I remember.
Yeah.
Those are coming back into play. And what you're saying right now is, yeah, I do agree. I think it just comes back around.
Yeah.
Like he said, if it's hot, it's hot.
Right.
Doesn't matter what year it is.
Any brands you want to see from back in your memories? You want to see them come back?
Only if they're gonna do it properly.
Are you ready for LA gear?
Never. I'm not trying to, you know, slight them, but they were never fresh.
Okay.
Like, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. No, don't do that. Karl Malone, stop. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Any brands you want to see come back from your childhood?
I want to
Childhood, everything's out still.
They're still here.
Yeah, they're all still around.
I want to see Sergio Tacchini
Okay.
do the right shoes properly.
Okay.
Okay? I want to see Bally, who did one shoe properly. I want to see them do all of their shoes properly.
Yeah.
It's so many dope brands that we wore back in the days. I want to see them do it properly. I don't want them to try to bamboozle you by bringing something because it came out back in the days thinking that that was it. No. Go to the people who really rocked it back in the days and say, which one is right? Alessi did something with Mike Packer. They did it right. If you're going to bring back the shoes that we wore in them 80s and them early 90s, bring them back properly.
Do you think it's necessary? Yes. Do you think it's necessary for those brands to work with people like you and me to bring them back properly? Like, is that why they need an outsider to help them with that?
Most people in those brands never saw the shoes that we wore, so they definitely need help. They can't look back in the catalog and go, which was the right one. They can't look in their archives and go, which was the right one.
Yeah.
99% of them never wore the brand that they work at. So how can they be the guy that's gonna tell us what we thought was fresh when they never wore it?
Right.
Most of them are too young to have even experienced the 80s.
Yeah. Or they weren't part of the culture even. They're wearing hush puppies or something like that. Yeah. Or,
If you didn't live it, you can't really help them bring it back properly.
yeah. Right.
You can't do it from pictures. You got to do it from did you wear it? Know what I'm saying? You can't
Google image the culture.
You can't bring Sauconys back in high tops. You got to bring spot builts back in high tops. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it wrong. Don't do it wrong because you see what happens when you do it wrong. Nobody touches it, and then you feel like, oh, everybody's bugging. No, you did it wrong. You did it wrong, not us. You did it.
Right.
We did it right because we rocked it.
Buying this? They don't get it. No,
You don't get it.
No,
What do you don't get? You didn't get it. You did it wrong.
Word.
Because, for real, there is an extremely legitimate market for people that wore those sneakers that if they saw them right now would buy them in multiples.
Yeah.
Because that's what we really miss. We don't want to wear knitted sneakers. We want to wear leather sneakers. We want to wear that shit
Right.
that we came up on.
Yeah.
Keep us feeling young.
Right. Also going in this retro thing, let's touch on Jordan a little bit because I think with the Jordan reissuing and retroing, there's two sides of this coin all the time. There's a side where it's like, yo, the cement threes are back, I can't wait. And then there's the side where it's like, I can't believe they're gonna re-release the cement threes. How do you guys feel about that? Like, particularly with Jordan, when they sort of are on this cycle of like reissuing. Do you like the cadence that they're on?
I mean, I'm not a consumer for that. Right now, I'm just not a consumer for that, so it's not really a good question for me to answer.
What do you mean you're not a consumer? Like, you don't
I'm
own
not
a pair of Jordan 1s?
Nah.
You don't own a pair of Jordan 3s?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the stories around it are like Nigel Sylvester. Yeah, I would want something like that because the story around it. But there's not like I have them still. That's
You
what
have
I'm saying.
the original?
Yeah, I have them.
But you won't mess with the reissue, the retros?
No.
Why? Because you think, is it a bastardization? Is it watered down? What do you think?
I think it's two things, me getting a little bit older, and then two, me working on my own footwear. So it's a little bit of combination of two. It's something like I would never keep buying the same thing over and over. This is just me personally. But I wouldn't keep buying the same thing over and over, especially in 2018 when I'm working on my own footwear.
Yeah.
And two, it's just I already have them from before, the ones that I wanted.
Right.
So I'd rather just wear those.
Okay. Clark?
If you do anything properly, I don't have an issue why I shouldn't buy it again. If I loved Jordan 3s in 1988,
yeah,
and you bring back Jordan 3s in 2000 and then 2005 and then 2010, if I really like them, I'd be corny to say I don't like them when they bring it back out, right?
So I'm asking you, do you like them?
Fuck right, I like them. And I buy multiples every time they bring back some shit that I like.
Okay, dope.
Be clear, I work in the game, but I am a serious sneaker consumer. I buy 99% of the shoes that I own. 99%. So when most kids are thinking, oh, he gets everything for free, you can't get everything you like for free. So I gotta shop, and I shop for 99% of my sneakers. There are people walking around these fairs who own stores, who know me personally, who have my credit card on file because of the way I shop.
Yes.
You can't influence shit if you don't shop.
No, you can't. You got to be a buyer.
And all of these so-called new influencers don't shop. So what are you influencing?
Yes, sir.
I shop.
Me too.
I shop to the point where I am hated in my household.
Speaking of shopping, do you guys still go to brick and mortar retail stores to shop?
All the time.
You ain't on the Sneakers app getting the notification?
The Sneakers app does not work for me, so I'm not trying it ever.
It don't work for nobody. It's a farce. It don't actually work.
When you see people putting up that picture of, oh, I got it,
Got him.
I'm always like, I will curse you out. Because it never, I deleted my Nike app because it never worked for me. And I was thinking, okay, they sent me the link for the app. I guess I got the inside.
Yeah.
No, you don't have the inside. They just sent you the link so you could have the app, so
Right.
they could get your analytics. Somebody else is winning. So I shop.
In stores.
I walk in stores. I used to go in your store every other
all
week.
the time. You had the card pulled out the front.
There is a list of stores in New York. They see me every week if there's something I want.
Yeah.
There's another list of stores around the country that I will call every week if they got something. And then there's another list of stores outside of the country that I will call if I want something. I shop. This is a true consumer here. I am not playing that, oh, send me some shit. Nah, you send it, it's cool, but I gotta like it. And if I don't like it, no, I'm not posting it. So I don't play those games with nobody's brands. If I don't like it, don't send it. If you send me something that I don't like, I'm sending it back. That's the other part about me. I'm semi-rude. I will send it back. Like if I'm not gonna waste your shit.
Yeah, but that's educational for them. They got to know that.
Absolutely,
yeah.
but I also think it's fair that you can give it to somebody else.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. All right. You shop.
I do travel a lot. So when I'm traveling, I try to stop, from Boston, Bodega, Concepts, the normal stores. So I do shop. We were just talking about Jordans before, but I do shop. Like I said, when I travel a lot, I stop in the main cities, the main stores that I would do as a kid or looked up to as a kid. I do stop in them. I do shop.
So why is everyone talking about like the death of retail stores? If you two influential people are saying that, like,
I'm not an influencer.
I didn't call you an influencer. I would never do that.
Influential
You are
people.
an influential person, but you're not an influencer.
I accept that.
Which is two very different things.
Yeah.
Big time.
Big time. All right. So you two like to go in the stores. Why is everyone saying retail stores are dead?
Let me go first.
Probably because they never go to stores anyway. So they just full of shit. Anybody popping shit about anything is usually full of shit. I mean, it's the truth. Most people who are talking shit about something are usually full of shit, or they just mad because something didn't happen the way they wanted it to happen. Look, if I go to a store and they don't have my size, I lost. I'm not tripping.
Yeah.
You can't win them all.
I know.
Most of these kids believe they should win them all.
You're right.
And if you believe that, you have an extremely ridiculous sense of real life. And most kids growing up now do because their parents never told them no. So if you keep getting told yes for your whole life, you're going to believe that life is just supposed to happen that way.
Yo, you just uncovered some.
I'm sorry I'm peeling another onion, but I apologize.
You just went into parenting, like entitlement, like.
These kids are extremely entitled.
Yeah, and you're right.
I got to. I'm telling you, they're extremely entitled. Like, nah, but I tell my kids no all the time because I'm not playing that shit with them. Like, sorry. I got told no for my whole life. I had to go do everything that I was going to do on my own. So they might get some yeses, but their majority is no. They're going to learn real life. And these kids nowadays don't learn real life. So when something doesn't go their way, they're popping shit. They're all online saying, oh, this is bullshit. They didn't have enough pairs. What are you talking about? Christmas time, Jordan drops 900,000 pairs of 11s, and you bitching because you didn't get a pair? You didn't go look for them.
Right, you didn't look hard.
Because they every fucking wear.
Yeah, there's a million pairs out there.
There's a million pairs. There's pairs.
Yo, John, do you remember the last shoe that you really wanted that you couldn't get? What was the last shoe? Come on.
Probably like an off-white Jordan 1.
Okay. And when
it's the last one. Probably.
When you weren't able to get it, did you finally get one? Like,
yeah, I finally got it.
Okay, you went to Resale to get it.
Yeah.
Aha! So the man who says you're against retail paid Resale.
No, I'm not against retail.
No, Resale.
Resale? Not really against resale either.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm against resale. I didn't say that.
Oh yeah, I thought. Okay, he said that. I'm sorry.
I didn't pay like a crazy overbox, but
Right.
I paid a little bit overbox.
Yeah. But I agree with you, Clark. I mean, it's like if I don't get a shoe, I just accept it. Like, all right, I can't get the shoe. It's fine.
I don't think retail's dead. I mean, we're here. Everybody's here for this, obviously.
Yeah.
So retail can't be dead.
No.
Completely. I think that for me personally, it's not dead because I do pop-ups in major cities, and usually they're at retailers that I respect. So
Yeah.
it's not dead.
Yeah, you have to bring something exciting to the retail, I think.
Retail can't possibly be dead if there's always a new store opening.
Yeah,
It's just that the people who are going out of business aren't doing good business.
exactly. Yeah.
True.
So there's a new store opening.
Right.
Think of how many stores you know about that started out one store, boutiquing it out, and all of a sudden now they got 10 stores.
Yeah.
If retail was dead, they'd be gone.
Yeah, right. You're right. All right, let's talk a little bit about female sneakerheads because, you know, we talk to brands all the time, and if you talk to any brand, you're going to hear them say, we need more emphasis on the female sneakerhead market, right? And I think from the brand standpoint, it's probably just a little bit of greed because they just see it as like another demographic of the population. But how do you feel about brands trying to like market to that? Do you think women deserve a place on the sneaker shelf wall in stores?
I believe yes.
Okay.
Rihanna killed it. Was
Yeah.
it this past year or was it the year before?
Year before, yeah. She basically brought Puma back.
Yeah, I remember when Vashti had a Jordan. Laylee just had a Jordan. I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I wanted the Laylees. I just couldn't get my size.
Yeah, I like the fact that brands are doing things for women that we can't have now, and it like
True.
makes us thirsty.
And it's not a girly color too. It's
Right,
not like
right.
I would love to see a brand do something with Tasha. You know, people like that, like dope photographers, models and stuff like that. I would like to see more of that. Yeah, Tasha needs a collab. I don't know if anybody in there, but
Clark, what do you think?
Yes, I think Tasha should have a collab. How about that? Here's the thing. Most girls who are in the shoes really just want the same shoes that the guys got, and the brands aren't making their size.
Yeah.
So when they do turn around and give a girl a collab, they should probably try to figure out how to really make it a woman's shoe so that guys don't buy it. So like Vashti had a collab, a bunch of guys bought it. You know what I'm saying? Alila May, she had a collab, all the guys bought it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna do something, it's almost like they should actually have women's shoes that they're making. Problem is, most girls who are in the shoes want the guy shoes.
Yeah.
So what they gotta do is extend the sizing. So there's two answers. It's just I don't know which one they're gonna do.
Right. Okay. So now we're
And then there's a bunch of dudes with girly feet. So, it's messing it up for girls too.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna open it up to some audience Q&A right now. I think, do we have mic runners? We got microphones for the audience? All right, let's open some audience Q&A. My man who was asking for it now is gone, of course.
He's taking more shots somewhere. Yeah,
Great,
he's drunk
That's
as
great.
shit somewhere.
All right.
Hey, how's it going? What's up, Jeff? Thank
What's
you
up?
again for the opportunity.
Of course, man.
So I guess I just want to play devil's advocate about the having people wear the shoe releases outside of the store. Like, I agree with what you're saying because I think reselling kind of, it takes it away from the people who deserve it, who deserve the shoes. But what if they're gifting it? Like, what do you say to someone who's buying a different size? It's just a gift for someone.
That's my argument.
That's a really good question. But at the same time, the reseller fucked that up.
Right. It's a slippery slope.
So you go into a store, you trying to buy something for you to give somebody else, and the reseller got it. But if the reseller can't get it,
Yeah.
so it's fucked up because of resellers.
Right,
It's not the brand's fault.
Okay.
It's the guy who thinks the sneaker is worth more than the box price.
Right.
There's no
I hear
such
you.
thing.
I hear you. Okay. Oh, and you're not rude, man. You're not rude. You're from New York, right?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, my bad. Brooklyn. No, I moved there from New York. I moved to LA from New York. I was in Bushwick last. But I moved from Bed-Stuy, so I was all over Brooklyn. Bay Ridge, too, at one point. But yeah, you're not rude, man. You're just keeping it 100.
Thank you.
I actually missed that. I'll be honest.
Trust me, there ain't too many people who's gonna keep it real with y'all here.
Clark Kent, this one's for you. I know you were big on like the proper reissuing.
You gotta speak up more.
I know you were big on the proper reissuing of sneakers, and I know you're a big Air Force One head, so they're obviously not doing like the shape and quality justice. I'm curious how you feel about that.
I think you said they're not doing the quality of Air Force One reissues. Do you? Okay, so first, I don't want him to put words in your mouth. First of all, do you feel that the current reissues of Air Force One's building quality is the same or better or worse than they were in the past?
There's 3 different builds of Air Force Ones that hit stores. One of them is amazing, the other one is good, and the other ones are all right. So
How does the consumer tell the difference?
they have to know shoes. And you could tell because the price is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? So the ones that are done like all the way, they're like 110 or 120. There it is. There it is. The ones that are good are like 105 or 100. And then the ones that are just regular are $90. But the best shoe ever, in my opinion, is a white on white. They cost $90, and you would probably say, quality-wise, against the other ones, that they don't match up. But white on whites are famous for being worn once. So you get that one good wearing out of a pair of white on whites, I'm sorry, that $90 works.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my question is, I'm considered a true sneakerhead. How do the sneakerheads in the industry that gives people like SneakerCon the platform to resell and create the market that's created? How do we end that so that way the individuals that deserve the shoe or that want the shoe can take that from SneakerCon and the vendors that have that quantity that gives the resale?
This dude wants to end SneakerCon, and he's wondering how he can do that.
He's
Am I right? Did I get the question right? The reselling aspect of it, yeah.
It's
Right.
because sneakers mean so much to people, it's practically impossible
I agree.
right now. It's impossible right now unless Yeah, it's basically impossible.
Basically impossible.
Because sneakers have become this thing that I don't get it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't get it. You know I've said this to you 100 times. You said it to you. I don't get it. They're leather and rubber, the good ones. And I don't get it. Like, they sneakers, yo. Everybody has sneakers. There's people who are more enthusiastic about sneakers than others. I just don't get it. I'm extremely enthusiastic about sneakers. I'm a sneaker junkie. But I'm not gonna pay you $1 over box price for some sneakers. It doesn't make sense to me. So to tell another kid who's willing to get his social currency up by having a pair of off-whites and paying $1,000 for it, how do you tell him he's wrong when he believes it means something to him that way? The only thing it means is that people are gonna go, oh my God, you got the off-whites. Once that person says that, what happens after that? They sneakers. They just go back to being sneakers. And until people remember that they're just sneakers, you're gonna have a resale market.
Yeah.
Just like drugs. They're not just drugs. They get you high, they give you something else. So you'll pay for it, and you're gonna keep paying for it. Sneakers have become a drug for everybody, and the guy who's reselling won't go to jail like a drug dealer. So come on.
It's legal drug dealing.
Dudes who are reselling don't even like sneakers like that.
Yeah. And now it's such an industry, like you're right, like the sneaker con ain't going away. Like, Yu Ming.
Sneaker con isn't going anywhere. That guy is making millions off of that. So I hear you, but yeah, whatever. It's not gonna happen.
All right, so taking into consideration that reselling is a product of hype and scarcity, at what point do we put the onus on the billion-dollar company to make more shoes so people don't have to go to resellers?
Somebody asked me this question the other day, boy.
That's a great question.
Hype. That was created by websites. The website gets a piece of information and feeds it to you every day until the sneaker comes out. Here's a different angle. Here's two of them together. Here's the store list. They create the hype that makes you believe that this thing is way more important than it is. The brand is taking a chance on everybody that they do a collaboration with. They don't know if it's gonna work, so why should they be putting more sneakers in the store? They're checking to see if it's gonna work. So every collab that you see is a roll of the dice.
It's true.
It's a roll of the dice, so why should they go, I'm gonna make 900,000 pairs of an off-white Jordan 1? There's a lot of people who don't like it. More people like regular Jordan 1s than like off-white Jordan 1s. So for that answer alone, I'd be damned if I'm gonna put all this paper and make 900,000 pairs of a shoe that I don't know if people are gonna like. So it's not on them, it's on you to start deeming what's important.
Yeah. People ask me like, yo, why don't you make more Pigeon Dunks? Like, cause I actually didn't know how many would sell. I'm sorry, you know, you can't Monday morning quarterback this stuff.
I've been friends with this guy forever. Friends. Like, I can call him and be like, yo, send me this, and he'll send it. I didn't get Pigeon Dunks and was hot with my friend because I didn't get the Pigeon Dunks, but then I was like, well, I wasn't on that line fighting nobody to get a ticket to, no, hell no. Come on, man, it's sneakers, yo.
What's going on, fellas? Please break down the pros and cons of the influencer marketing, and every time it's mentioned, like Clark Kent's face just completely turns. What's that influencer disdain, or you know, what's the positive now? It's like if you're a star.
I don't have an issue with influencer marketing. I question what's an influencer. That's all. Especially if the influencer or so-called influencer doesn't shop. If you just getting stuff handed to you and you gonna wear it, what are you influencing? Actually, the brand's influencing you. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna wear. It's not I'm gonna pick and choose what I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna go in the store and I'm gonna find some fly shit and I'm gonna wear it so well that somebody's gonna be like, I need those. If you are an influencer, you could put on a pair of no-name sneakers and make kids go buy them.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you an influencer. Ronnie Feig. He took Asics that no one was gonna wear, and he turned that shit into a movie. That boy influenced the shit out of y'all.
Yes. Your opinion on it, on influencer?
I feel the same way. No, I'm not. No, I feel the same way, but I looked at it like me personally, right? So if you follow me, you know my journey of customizing shoes, getting to work on some projects. My whole thing was like, I can keep saying like using brands as Nike or something like that as of what I want to do, or clean up on aisle 7, or I could just start something my own and do it that way. I felt like it was bigger for me to start something completely myself. I do shop. The reason why I don't shop a lot in stores is because if I think of something, I'm gonna go make it. This jacket, these jeans, these shoes.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I want to go make my own products. So for a lot of those influencers, it's like, could they put their name on something like Ronnie has done and push it on, you know, a no-name shoe that no one was gonna buy, or could you completely make your own brand from scratch and push it and people want it? That was, for me, that was the whole influencing or influencer. Are you really influencing people to buy something with my name on it? I do it every day. So that was the crossover for me, right. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the moment someone calls themselves an influencer, it immediately voids the possibility that they can be an influencer. Like, to be an influencer, you can't decide that you are an influencer. Everyone else in that room has to call you the influencer. The moment, can I give some advice to some young people here? If you have the word influencer in your Instagram bio line, please delete that.
No. Let them leave that.
Why?
If you have influencer in your bio, you're letting us all know you're not an influencer. So we appreciate that.
You made it easier for us.
You make it easier for us.
Right. It's kind of like the term like a classic. You can't come out with an album and be like, yo, I just dropped the classic. You can't decide that it's a classic. You made the thing. Everyone else in the room has to say it's a classic. Then you're allowed to maybe say humbly, you made a classic.
The people where the streets decide everything.
Without question. The most important influencer in the last 30 years have been drug dealers. Because where we come from, we all wanted to dress like the hustlers. That's the most important influencer I've ever seen. We all wanted to dress like drug dealers. That's that.
Yes.
Everything that you see now is people following.
There's people that work here from Timberland and North Face, and they are nodding their heads heavy.
You know why they're nodding their head? Because if those Timberland 40 Belows couldn't get a gun in the boot, they wouldn't have done nothing in the hood.
Right.
That's the reason why 40 Belows sold, is because they didn't sell because of Tupac. That movie was made after we was already wearing 40 Belows. We put guns in our boots. I mean, people put guns in their boots. That's why you bought 40 Belows. They worked because you could fit the gun in the boot.
Yeah.
I was told.
Yes, and I was told that North Face became a thing because the lookouts on the corner, when it was 20 degrees below zero,
You needed a warm coat.
You needed some Antarctica shit to stand there, and it had to be North Face. That's why North Face blew up.
North Face, Marmount, Woolrich, all of those jackets.
Yep.
Because it was cold on the block. I was told.
All right, where's Mark? Oh, we're done? Okay.
Nah, Mark, let the people speak if
You don't
they
want
got questions.
one more. Lady in the house.
That's three questions.
Yeah.
Let the lady go first.
Huh?
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Both of you, if you guys could collaborate with any individual or like a non-major brand, who would it be and why?
It's gonna sound really crazy. A lot of store buyers are gonna understand this. Maybe not everybody else would. But there's a magazine that I get in the mail. I'm pretty sure everybody here well, I'm pretty sure you do. You get it in the mail, and I use it for like when my shoes are coming off the line of production. They get stuffed and they get in bags, and it's called U-Line. U-Line is
U-Line is the shit.
Yeah, U-Line is the shit. Basically, like I'm giving people like.
It's almost too much. It's almost too good. I think you should shut up right now. Don't school them on U-Line, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
So your dream collab is U-Line?
Yeah. Shit. I shouldn't have said nothing. But 2018, you'll see a U-Line. Someone in here will make it happen.
Yeah.
But U-Line would be my dream collaboration.
Your dream collab, Clark? Or you already checked that box?
No, I didn't.
Okay, who is it?
Luckily, I've been blessed. And trust me, I thank God every morning for the opportunities that I've had. I've worked with practically every really good sneaker brand. Like, I've done a shoe with all of them. What people don't know, and I would drop the mic and leave, never do a collab again if I could do something with Polo.
Yes, sir.
I would drop the mic, break out, and laugh at everybody who's doing collabs. You motherfuckers can't catch me. I did Polo, you bitches.
Word.
You know why? Because Polo's the best brand on the planet.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Tommy, who's a friend. I don't want to do no other brand. If someone here knows anybody at Polo, I need a collab. I don't give a damn if it's one piece, but I swear to God, I got a goddamn line for him.
Word.
Polo.
All right.
Hold on. What would you been? You asked the question.
Dream collaboration. Celine, Murakami, Nike.
All right, that's doable.
Wow.
All three at the same time?
All three at the same time.
All right.
But Celine copies Nike.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. Give a round of applause. Sneaker Culture, John Geiger, DJ Clark Kent. Thank you, sir.